Sag, how you guys doing? This is going to be a you're not together but you don't feel finished read for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What's going on, my friends? You guys are going to have Jupiter retrograde in your first house of self. That's your house of life in April. So Jupiter is going to be going in and doing some rearranging and constructing for you. So I'm pretty excited to see what's going to happen with this spread. And I do want to just say why I'm doing this spread. I did the last 2 weeks of March and the first 2 weeks of April. And just reflective of the fact that we have Pluto with this South Node influence coming up in April, I thought it would be good to do this kind of reading for those of us who are really kind of like in between in this weird space, right, in our relationships. Because Pluto's asking us with the South Node influence, you know, what's no longer serving you, you got to get rid of it. But at the same time, while you do that, you have to hold on to what is serving you and what's good. So it's a tricky thing, especially, you know, coming out of Pisces season. It's been a confusing time for many of us. So why don't we see, you know, what the energies have for us as far as explanation and advice. I do want to say that this reading is not for you if you're dealing with a narcissist, if you're dealing with somebody who's married to somebody else, somebody who has a drinking problem, somebody who has a drug addiction, somebody who treats you like shit and not respectful and who brings more pain to your life than anything else. This reading is not for you. This is for people who have been in relationships, really loving mutual relationships where there's been some sort of something where they've broken up, and they could just stay broke. Look, just because two people are good people doesn't mean they stay together, right? And I do have to give that caveat because a lot of the messages that I get regarding, you know, my readings, I want you guys to understand something about me and how I function. I will never support anyone staying with a narcissist. I've been with one, and I would never recommend it. It is horrible, it's painful, and you can't mitigate it. There's no fixing that. It's like they were born with something that was then taken away from them at some point in life, and they're just not capable of having any kind of normal relationship. So I would never waste my energy in tarot trying to advise someone in any other way other than how to get the hell out of there. That, honestly, I'm being straight with you guys. So I'm sorry if that was something that you were looking for, but this is then not the reading for you. Okay, guys, remember, gender doesn't matter here, and these are general messages. The energies could be flipped. So I go into this with this being your side, and this being your partner, but it could certainly be flipped just because it's a general reading. Most of you guys know that that's how it works, right? Okay, so we're going to be starting out now with these crowning energies, and these crowning energies that we're looking at are going to be challenges that you guys are going to be dealing with right now. Okay, so Sag, you have fork in the road, which is your challenge right now. And okay, what does this energy indicate? Indecision is extremely frustrating, yes. And it's leading to anxiety for you, yes. Loss and confusion. You're feeling a lot of things right now. You're at this very weird juncture where you don't want to risk losing your way altogether. I know that sounds really, really dramatic, but you just want to avoid the tendency to let other people make decisions for you right now. You know, this is typically not a Sagittarian trait. I mean, you guys are just like, you know, first of all, the party animals is the zodiac. I love Sagittarians, honestly. Like, I just think they're such a blast. But I just feel like because of your emotional state, you know, where you are because of this breakup, you're in this vulnerable place, and it's just very confusing for you. But don't give your power away, not even to this reading, okay? Just don't do it. And remember, like, by not making a choice, you're making a choice, you know, for which you must be accountable for, and that is a choice, right? So you just want to make sure that you're making good choices right now. And this is going to be your challenge. So, yeah, making good choices. Boy, okay. And your partner's crowning energy challenge is soulmates. Interesting. Just considering the context of the reading. So here, the energy that this dictates is they're realizing, they're struggling through the understanding that they have recently come to, that this relationship has brought them to their knees. Absolutely. This is the kind of energy. They're feeling this energy with you that you can only feel from the most incredible gifts in life. Yeah. But they have these patterns and these old stories that they're playing out in their life. These scars, these pains, just this way of thinking, this way of behaving that doesn't ultimately serve them, and they keep doing it. And this is their challenge. Yes, and this is the thing, Sag. All right, absolutely, no question. If this reading resonates with you, you guys are absolutely soulmates, and you are here to teach them a lesson. You are here to hold up the mirror, because they're going to be asking themselves questions. You know, why did he or she do this to me? You know, instead of saying, where's the gift in this? Where's the lesson? You're going to be serving them up the biggest life, or you have served them up the biggest life lesson that I'm getting that they've ever known. There's a lot of pain here. There's confusion from you, and there's ridiculous pain. I'm getting that your confusion is from pain, but this is just such a raw feeling I'm getting over there. Okay, so let's get into the cards. So for you, we have the Three of Wands starting out, so your energy starting out there. So feeling like you were waiting for something. This is prior to the breakup. You were feeling like you were waiting for something to arrive, and you felt really, really ready for it. So maybe you were waiting for, this could be anything, Sag. So this could be that you were waiting for a marriage proposal, or a proposal to move in together, or to go to the next stage. Or this can even indicate that you were waiting for them to break up with you because you knew things that weren't going really well. So it just, this idea of waiting is what we need to take away from this. But it wasn't coming. It felt like it was always steadily approaching, but you weren't really, really ready to receive it. You just weren't. And the thing is, whatever this brought, whether it was more of a commitment, or whether it was the actual breakup, though I don't think it was that at this point, we go into the Five of Pentacles energy, and this is where bad decisions and whims of fate were happening, and the only thing you were able to do was move forward. You realized that what happened in the past couldn't be mended. So yeah, maybe you were just waiting for them to, you were feeling like the relationship was coming to an end, and you were feeling a sense of anxiety about it, and then it happened, and you're realizing that it just couldn't be fixed, that it all, became what it became, and you were in a space of feeling just really dire. You became really confused, and I'm just getting that you were in a very weird space, Sag, for a little bit, where you were. Page of Swords. Let's keeping it real, okay? Keeping it real here. You weren't wanting to compromise or listen to what others had to say, and you lacked the mental discipline to have clarity for a minute. And Sag, this happens. You may have gotten yourself into a situation that you needed some help getting out of. But you learned a really big lesson. But I'm getting that this was very reactionary. It was very reactionary to your confusion / pain. And then you went into the Six of Cup energy. So this could be a couple things, okay? This could have been that you were feeling very nostalgic for your partner, and you wanted to try with them again. That's one situation that could be for a certain bunch of you. This could also be, though, that you guys just feeling very emotionally broken. You ended up connecting with some people from your past, people that you knew during an easier time of your life, where there was fewer burdens put upon you, you know, less worries, a happier time, less pain, you know. Yeah, and you decided to, okay, definitely two situations. I have to give them both. Okay. For those of you who are missing your partner and you really, really just wanted to find the happy with them again, you know, and that happens a lot in relationships, right? When we're having problems, you break up and then you get back together. It's like very common. But when you got back together, you realized, holy shit, what did I do? This is so not what I really want, because they still do A, B, and C, and I can't be with that. So, you know, that would lead you into this Seven of Wands energy where you were just doubting everything. You were doubting your choices. You were doubting your intuition. You were feeling anxious. You were just overwhelmed with feeling like no matter what you did in the relationship, there was always a problem to overcome. And you just became really, really sick of it. And you just started asking yourself, like, which aspects of your partner's attitude or circumstances are really, really non-negotiable for you. And this level of upsetment brought you into this devil space where you realized you felt really enslaved in the relationship. And it just became too demanding. You know, your partner was very demanding of you. You know, what started out really positive ended up reversing at some point, and you were able to see the situation for what it is, which was destructive. Yeah, feeling controlled, under a bad influence for sure. Like, I get the feeling there's, okay, I mean, we know that the devil card is greed, temptation, materialism, but I always see this also as understanding that in order to change the situation requires you to think laterally and to be a little cunning. So because you were feeling trapped, I feel like you felt like you had to beat your partner at their own game in a way, as far as being, I don't know, so is it slick or controlling of some sort, because you knew it wasn't worth confronting the situation. You knew it wasn't going to change anything, you know, and this definitely indicates to me that, you know, that you walked away despite how tempting it was to stay, you know. Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who hooked up with somebody from the past, doesn't necessarily have to be a love interest, but it could have been old friends or whatever. You guys went out and you did a ridiculous amount of partying and you had so much fun that it really started to put you in a space of you wondering if you even wanted to have a relationship at all. And you just kind of started a little cycle of just really partying, because Sag, there are issues here, you know. Look, the devil card can mean a lot of things, okay? It could mean issues with sex, you know, cheating, reckless sex, food, substance abuse, or even just an overall really negative pattern of thinking, you know, where you're just living in your shadow self, in that lower vibration. And that's, you know, that's really quite toxic, you know. Jealousy would even be in this, bitterness, resentment. Those are all, that's all devil energy, you know. Yeah, just very, but I do certainly get here that you were feeling very controlled here. And I don't know if it was, I mean, did you go into a space of, like, you know, lust over love kind of situation, or codependency kind of thing? Or did your partner, because this could very well be a partner, but I'm definitely getting that. Yeah. And that, you know, even though there was like an ending, I get a lot of drama here. Even though there was this ending, I feel like you guys were in some way still connected, maybe because of money or kids or something like that. Yeah, ooh, okay, that was heavy. So we can come back to this, but let's talk about your partner for a minute. So we have the King of Pentacles here. So this is a person who felt that they were doing incredibly well in their mind. in the areas of money, health, being really supportive as a partner, or maybe even all three. You know, this was how they perceived the relationship initially. And, you know, somebody who understands the ebbs and flows and of life. You know, some people have more, some people have less, and it seems like this indicates that they were in a position of having an abundance of one of these things. This doesn't mean they had a lot of money, but maybe they were able to give you a lot of time, or give you a lot of emotional support, or something like that. Or they were really into health, really into working out, and they really wanted to help you become healthy. They were giving you money because they wanted to help you have more. They wanted to give you support so that you could become more. You follow what I'm saying? Like, they're giving, but there's a little bit of a price tag on it. You know, there's, yeah. So, but they honestly believed that they were doing really good. And they may, you know, it's not coming from a place of malice. I just get that that's just simply their personality. And then we have the Five of Swords. And so here, you know, they're wondering if the price for pushing this agenda was too big. You know, they felt psychologically depleted from it. Like they were trying to get you to do something, or be something, or something that you were just not really listening to them. And they were a little slow in the uptake, though. Like they started to view you as a situation that they just couldn't win in, like there was nothing gained. And then we go into the Five of Wands, and they realize, yeah, you were not taking them very seriously. Like you were pacifying them on some level. You were too busy viewing them as like an unhealthy problem child who just liked to argue with you over everything. But this could be that they were having issue with some behaviors that you were exhibiting. You know, maybe you were spending too much money. You know, maybe you were going out too much. Some sort of behavior that didn't jive with them, that they really didn't like. You know? And this is incredible. We have the Five of Swords here, the Five of Wands, and then the Five of Swords again. It's like conflict, conflict, conflict. What the hell is going on here? Yeah, what? There's just so much conflict and stress. They felt continuous challenges to their place in your life. You know, like the space that they held in your life. Yeah, and they just started to feel very depleted. They felt like the only way for them to maintain any self-respect would be for them to walk away, because they knew if they continued the fighting that the relationship would become nothing more than a bad memory, and they didn't want that. So they truly believed that there was no hope left for the relationship, like it was done. So I just feel like, Sage, I don't know, like was your breakup kind of mutual? Or did they break up with you because of this devil energy? Or was this devil energy them? But I'm getting like, on some level, it was mutual. On some level, you both kind of realized that this was just not a good thing. And then continuing with their energy, we have the Eight of Cups. So they ended up in a space of having to ask themselves what they were holding on to, because they were holding on to something. And even though they knew your relationship changed, they were asking themselves if they jumped too quickly to end it, or did they stay too long? You know, but they're just not able to see an alternative path for you guys. But I see that they love you so much, but they just can't be with you because they can't deal with the conflict. Oh my goodness. This is very clear to me. Yeah. Yeah. And that, you know what? Too, Sage, I got to tell you, they're in a space of not fully trusting themselves, but are committed to their intuition at this point. Like they don't, when I say they don't trust themselves, they don't trust their judgment when it comes to you, which is so typical in soulmate energy. It just is. It just is. And then we have the moon. Hi, hug. Yeah. So this is a crisis of faith, emotional vulnerability, feeling deep emotional conflict. You know, feeling like, is there a specific problem that needs attention, like that they're not seeing? This is like the mindset that they're in. It's like they felt like they weren't seeing something. if your partner feels really let down, Sag, very confused and disappointed and doesn't trust you. Now, before you come after me in the comments, again, this could be you, this could be them, but I have to tell you, this is absolutely someone's reading. And you know, and I have to pay attention to the fact that we are going to have that Jupiter in retrograde in your first house of self. Sag, I mean, are you going through something here? Like this confusion? I get it very confused. Like, you think what you want, you think you know what you want, and then as that thing approaches, then you're not sure if you want it. And I'm sensing some self-sabotaging here, but at the same time, I can't escape from the fact that I get a very distinct energy, just because the soulmate challenge energy and the energy I'm getting here with this King of Pentacles. You know, I'm putting together here that you were with somebody who was really controlling. Not that they were a bad person, they were just so controlling, and that's like not good for a Sagittarius, because you guys are like, I want to be free and I want to travel, and you know, you guys are the bachelors of the zodiac. I don't know if you know that, but you absolutely are. So not that that doesn't mean you guys are never going to get married or anything like that. That's ridiculous. But you require a partner who's going to let you be you and do your thing, because chances are very high of you kind of acting out against that. And that's what I have. So I'm going to pull a card, a yes-no card for you guys. I want you to ask 3 times, and it doesn't matter how you ask it. You can ask it one of 2 ways. Am I and your partner's name going to get back together, or am I and your partner's name going to stay separated? You know, however you want to ask it, just make sure you ask it the same way 3 times, okay? I'll give you a second. And then I'll pull. Okay. Well, the Nine of Cups is a positive card. It's reversed, but it's a minor arcana. So we have a positive card that's a minor arcana that's reversed. So the answer to this, Sag, is not now. Not now. And that's okay. Could be a couple of months down the road. Which, to be honest, with you having Jupiter in your house of self, maybe you want to work on figuring out exactly, and I hope I'm not offending anyone with this message. It's very clear to me, and this is for someone. Some of you are really struggling with what you really, really want. I mean, what it looks like. Figuring out what you want in relation to what you believe to be true up until this point in your life. And please be kind to yourself during this period of transition, because you will be, man. That first house of self, that's no joke. I can't tell you how much. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Planets in the first house of self, there are big, fundamental, beautiful changes, and the fact that it's Jupiter in there, helping you clean up the mess, because that's what Jupiter does. Jupiter is like your best friend who comes in to like your messiest room and is like, come on, I'm going to help you clean up. I'm going to help you put things away exactly where they're supposed to be. And that's how it's going to be rolling out. So I get that this person's a good person. I do. They're just stubborn. But you know, I don't feel like they're not capable of recognizing that at some point. That's what I'm getting. I'm not getting any like dark energy. I'm getting just a lot of conflict, but I feel like they're fighting because of this stubbornness that they're feeling and this frustration that they're feeling within the relationship. Yeah. All right, Sag, that's what I have for you. Yeah. I hope this gave you a couple of seeds to think about. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.